Hello and good morning, everybody. This is Brad Lewis with Premier Marketing. Hey, thanks for taking some time out of your day today to learn a little bit more about INDEXALYZER. We're excited to have Kent Jacquay on the call with us today. Kent's the founder of Index Resource Center, which for us has been a great partnership so far, and a great introduction to some of the tools that are available out there for annuity producers today to help take away some of the questions and help guide our clients into some of the allocation options that they want to choose from, and just to learn more about the business, to be quite honest. So if you have any questions today as we get into this, please put them in the questions section, type them in there, and then I will get them over to Kent, and we'll try to answer those during the call today. But we're very, very excited to have Kent on the line with us to show us the important updates that he's made to INDEXALYZER and how that tool can help you in your business and working with your clients each and every day. So, Kent, thanks for joining us, and I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Brad. Well, welcome everybody. INDEXALYZER has really changed the way a lot of advisors work with their clients. When I started this company 5 years ago now, we really wanted to attack one of the biggest problems in our industry. And actually, I was working with a guy from the S&P 500, and that was his exact words. He said, "Kent, what you've created solves the biggest problem in our industry, and that problem is allocations. We don't know where to put the client's money when we sell them an index annuity. We don't know, how to truly advise them because it's so difficult. Back when I started selling index annuities, which I'm going to date myself here, but it was back in 1997 when I sold my first one. And back then you had the S&P 500 point to point with a cap or monthly average with a cap, and usually the monthly average was a little bit higher cap. And that was the only decision you had to make. How much money do you want to put in each one of those buckets? And it was pretty simple. And the actuaries kind of knew what they were doing. Those two different designs, if you did a back test on them, they were pretty much equal. So it was not difficult back then. And then time marched on. And we started seeing, this new treasury index. And then Lehman Brothers came in with a bond index. And then we saw the NASDAQ come in. We saw the Dow come in. Saw the Dow Euro come in, and then it just started growing and growing. And then about 7 years ago, it exploded. And then in the last 5 years, it's really exploded. Since I started this company, when I started, we were tracking 66 indices, and now we track over 170. So in the last 5 years, over 100 new indexes or indices have entered our space. And all that, it's great, and it's great that Wall Street recognizes how vital and how important these products are, but it also creates a tough situation for agents selling it. It's like, how do I keep up? How do I know which one's good, which one's not good, or how do I really guide and direct my clients when I'm selling them a product that has 27 different options in it? And it's different crediting methods, and it is a problem. So that's what we exist to do, is to help you sift through those issues and create a good data-driven allocation process to give to your clients. Because most agents I speak to, and we're talking thousands upon thousands a year, they're basically just guessing. And they admit it. And maybe you're one of those type of agents that are like, yeah, I just, if I had a dartboard, I just throw darts, and wherever they land, that's where we're going to allocate to. And that's understandable. And it's not a really threatening deal to the client, because it's an index annuity, it's guaranteed. So you're really only looking at opportunity loss if you do choose a bad allocation. But the point is, we exist to make you look more professional. We exist to say, listen, we can't predict the future, but what we're going to show you is a way to use data to drive your decisions. So when you're working with your clients, you can kind of back up what you're saying with the research that we do here at the Index Resource Center. So let's dive into it. First of all, what we do is it is a subscription-based program, and you're going to see INDEXALYZER by itself is $50 a month or $49.99 a month. And then we also have access to a program we're going to go through in a little bit called Journey Guide that would cost you $100 a month. But because you're with Premier Marketing, you can actually access both of those systems for only $25 a month. That's the discount that they've negotiated with us to offer to you guys. So that is, when you see the rest of this, it's going to be the biggest value you've ever seen in the industry, and you will make it back. I can almost guarantee it. So let's go through and talk about what all is involved with INDEXALYZER. So once you log in and get your account set up, you can go into the download reports section here, and we've got all these different downloads. So if you're going out and meet with a client and you've got the sale, you know exactly what product you're going to use, you just need to know how to allocate. So you would come out here and you would download our carrier report spreadsheet, and you only need to do this download process one time. Okay, once you download it, you can save it to your computer, put it on your desktop, and it'll actually have updates automatically hit it through the web. So once you get out here, there, I'm waiting for it to pop up. There it is. Once you get out here and you get it all set up, you simply are going to go in and select the carrier you want. So say American Equity, select the product. Let's say we're doing the Asset Shield 10, and then pick your state. So say you're in Arizona, because where I am right now, it's freezing cold. It was 25 degrees this morning, so I'd rather be in Arizona right now. And you put your age in. So if you have an age that's not, it won't fit the product, it'll tell you that. And then you want to put your premium in because it does know all the bands, so you get the correct rates. And then drawdown, we'll discuss that in a second. So once you get it in, you view your report, and then you've got your information. So one of the big problems we have or we see with agents is I don't want to sell some of these indices that I don't understand, right? And I don't want to get that question during a application process. You know, what is the Credit Suisse Tech Edge? You know, what is the SG Global Sentiment? And that's why a lot of times we, kind of lean towards the S&P 500, because we know it's familiar with the client, and we can, pretty much explain it. Everybody knows what the S&P 500 is. So we give you a nice little blurb right on a report of enough information to where you can impress a client that you know what the index is. Because again, the goal isn't to teach the client, and make sure they understand exactly what's involved in the index. You just want to demonstrate that you understand it, because they're putting their trust in you. So if you can demonstrate you understand it, then that'll help you with that sale, and it'll help them be comfortable going into these new indexes. Because honestly, guys, this new stuff is just so much better. It really is. When you see the numbers here, you'll understand. And then the launch dates. The launch dates are important because you got to understand how hypothetical backtesting works, especially with these new indices that don't have 10 years of data, because everything we do is based on a 10-year historical. So if the Credit Suisse Tech Edge was launched in January of 2021, how in the world can we get 10 years of data on it? Well, the key is, if you read inside here, it says it is a rules-based index. Well, what that means is there's no human interference. There's not a worker that comes into their office and looks at all the economic data and makes decisions inside of that index. It has set rules that they define when they created the index, and they can apply those rules going back as far back in the history as they want. So it would be the exact same thing that happens from this day forward. So if they provide that data to us, we don't do any of the back testing here at the Index Resource Center as far as the index is concerned. We don't run like Monte Carlos or anything like that going, and looking back and seeing what would have happened. No, if the index does that, then we can track it. There are just a small hand, you can count them on your hand, indexes that we can't track because they're not rules-based. They do have human interference. And the ones that we can't track, actually, we will be able to track next year because they're built in 2014. So we can finally, there are a couple BlackRock indices. but 97% of the indexes out there we track. And so that launch date's important, because if it doesn't have all live data, if you get a savvy client and they understand that, then they might really, call you out on that. So you need to be able to explain how rules-based works. So that launch date will let you know, whether or not it's been around for at least 10 years. Like, the S&P 500 goes way back. So you have all that, and then you have the returns. So these returns are very high. Okay, right now we are in an economic situation where you've got these volatility control indices. Volatility is very low right now. And what that means is that option that gets purchased by the insurance company to back each one of these index crediting methods is very, very cheap right now, very, very low cost right now. That's why they can have these super high par rates. Okay, and when you take these super high par rates and the stellar 10 years that we've had in the markets, that's what's going to produce these returns. So I can caution you right now, I would not project these returns as what the client can expect in the future. Are they accurate? Are they correct? Yes. If you go back 10 years and purchase the Credit Suisse Tech Edge on a biennial, 2-year point-to-point reset at 410% with a 3% fee, yes, the client would have got 15.47%. That is a reality. But was the par rate actually 410 10 years ago? We don't know. All we can do is simulate that. And so what we do here at the Index Resource Center to help alleviate, them saying, oh, I'm going to get 15%, and if I don't get 15, I'm going to be mad, is we worked in that drawdown. So if you go back to the product selection, you can do a drawdown. So I'll put a 30% in. And what this is going to do is it's going to simulate rate reductions. We all see rate reductions when we see our clients' renewal statements. And so now it brings those returns down a little bit. And it's not just lowering it by 30%, it's actually lowering whatever moves. So when rates change, whatever moves, it's going to worsen that by 30%. So it's simulating rate reductions over the last 10 years. So now you can actually produce 4 different reports if you want. You can do one with a 0 drawdown to show, hey, this is your best case scenario. And you do a 15, a 30, and a 60. And then you got best or worst case scenario on the historical performance. So now you've created a range of historical returns. So you're not on the hook for one big number that the illustration might say. And you're also showing them back tested numbers based on yesterday moving back. That's huge, guys, because those illustrations you're getting from the carriers, they are generated, like they only update their index historical pricing in January. It's usually late December or January. So when you get in, right now we are in December, so they're going to be pretty close. But when you get into, spring and summer and fall, the numbers are completely different. Those illustrations are really not accurate, because you're not going to just sell in January. You're going to sell all throughout the year. You need to know what the back test is based on the time that they're buying during the year. So with INDEXALYZER, we update those prices every single day. You're going to have a really, really accurate back test for your clients. So now you create that range, and now you can have some realistic numbers shown. But more importantly is the pecking order. What INDEXALYZER does the best, again, we're not trying to predict the future of what they're going to really realize in the returns, but it's by taking that and calculating it all the way out to that final return. It tells us, okay, these crediting methods, which ones are better? Why is this one down here that has a 385% par? Why is it, why don't I choose that one? Well, it's, number 16 on the list, because when you factor everything in, the movement of the Aristocrats excess return index with the 385 and the 3, it didn't do as well. So calculating that return sets the order of which ones are the best ones. So how would I allocate? Well, I would look and put some money in and look at the 2 years, maybe find some 1 years, and it just tells you the best ones to pick. And if you want more allocation information, you can come down here and we actually show you. If we put 50-50 in the top 2, 70-30 in the top 2, and we have all these different allocation options that you can go over with your client and show them, here's some of the different ideas that you could do. So again, I know I spent a lot of time on this, but I think this is the most important part is, allocating with data instead of just guessing and looking at, the rate sheets and saying, because if you looked at the rate sheets, you probably would have picked this one. You probably would have put some money in there. You probably would have put some money in there. And historically, those did not perform as well as some of these other ones, even though the other ones had a lower par or maybe a higher fee. So it just breaks everything down so you can see the true pecking order of how these things did and make better decisions for your clients. So that is the carrier reports. So you have every single carrier in there, and if you got an appointment tonight, you need that report, go print it out. And now that allocation section of the application is so much easier. It becomes, what before was maybe your biggest stressor of taking an application, besides the suitability form, now it's the easiest part because now you have a plan. You can just print this out, show it to the client, and that's important too because we're a third party, just like every third party system out there. It's not client approved, and if you go back to the report, we've got disclaimers all over the place on these things. So you can show it to the client, but you can't leave it, okay? Because it's not a client approved piece. But you can just show them the report, fill out your allocations, and you're done. It makes it really simple. It simplifies that process. Okay, what else do you have on INDEXALYZER? You have our chart reports. Chart reports are really good. If you need something a little extra to help you close the sale, you need to, just build that confidence in the index that you're choosing, then you can download our chart reports, and it's really, really, really simple to use. All you have to do is select the index you want. So if you want to look at, this Barclays Transitions 12, I just randomly selected that one. You get a 10-year chart, and I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to act like I'm printing this so you can see how the entire thing looks. So you got a nice 10-year chart, again, as of yesterday, moving back. So you've got your chart, and then your second page is we put every index up against what we call the INDEXALYZER average. So those 170 plus indices that we track, their performance is baked into that gray line. So that's basically an index on the indexes. So every index that's ever been used inside of an IUL or an annuity is inside that gray number. So we can actually put each individual index up against that average. So if you're selling a product that had this index in it, wow, this would be a great chart to show a client and say, listen, this is a very, very, very above average index. So it's a powerful tool. Then you can actually show it again up against S&P 500 and the USX. You can show the index versus, equities and bonds. And then if you're in a competition situation, so I'm just going to choose another one. Let's see, let's just choose the City Grandmaster just as an option here. So the City Grandmaster right now is a below average index. So it's coming in below the INDEXALYZER average. So if you're selling against, you might want to come out to our chart reports, and you might be able to find something to help you win the sale. So you can either tear down the product that somebody else is offering or build up the one that you're offering. So, these are great charts. It's going to make you look really, really professional. Okay, the top 50 reports. I'm not going to download that one. That one's pretty simple. If you want to know what are the top crediting methods in every state, you can go in the top 50 report. All you have to do is choose your state, and boom, you've got the top crediting methods as of yesterday, moving backwards. So that one is pretty simple. Reviewalyzer. Reviewalyzer is where you're gonna make your money. This program, we actually were asked to design it by a few agents because when you go into your review appointments, if you are an agent that does actually go back and review the index annuities with your clients, it's so hard sometimes to say, all right, well, should we reallocate? Should we not reallocate? Where should we go? And what Reviewalyzer does, and man, it's really crunching slow. Well, we'll let it finish. What Reviewalyzer does is it gives you the ability to take a statement. So I'm going to pull up a statement here. So this is a snippet from an actual client statement from Athene. It's an older product. You can tell it's older because it's got the old Morningstar in it, and it's got the old Janus in it. And you can take your statement and literally plug in the data. Even if you don't have money allocated, you can plug in the allocation amount, the current rates, and the renewal rates. You can plug that into re-allocation, and then you can pull a report. Is it still downloading? You can pull a report that's gonna tell you exactly where you should reallocate. I mean, guys, this is huge. It usually does not take this long. I don't know if it's maybe an internet thing or if it's the GoToWebinar that's slowing it down. But we'll just let it open. I'll keep talking about it. But you can plug in the data, and it will show where the client's current allocation, historically, how it's done, and then it's going to give you all these different reallocation options. So it'll give you 4, and then it's also going to give you the ability to custom allocate. So you'll be able to see the 10-year historicals based on the renewal rates, and you can select the new allocation. It's really simple. You just say, all right, these are the top 2. I'll go 90% in the top one, 10 in the next one. And then it's going to produce a nice 1-page report that will show the client exactly where they should make changes. And then it does some other things. When you're in a review appointment and rates have gone down in your product, that's never fun. So a par rate was, 240. Now it's coming in at 180, and the client wants to know why. Well, re-allocation will actually produce a report that says, hey, here's the economic reasons why that rate went down. There's 3 things that will move these rates. There's bond prices or bond yields, treasury yields, and then volatility. Those are the 3 things. So what it does is it takes that exact index, that exact renewal rate, and it will tell you what's the culprit. Was it volatility? Was it bonds? Was it treasuries? So when you explain that to your client, you now have actual data that says this is why. So instead of saying, oh, the insurance company, they're just taking advantage of you, or they're just trying to make a profit off of you. No, you can show them that this was actually the reason why your rate went down. And then you also can show a new product. Hey, there it is. You can show a brand new product up against the old product. So if you got a client that's owned the product for a few years and they, not getting the greatest return, you can actually go in and show a comparison of a new product that you could enter in here versus the old product. So it'll show the current allocations. It'll show the optimal allocation if they just reallocate in their product, and then it'll show the new product on a nice graph here, and it makes it really simple. Guys, agents are using this all over the country, and they're using it with their current clients, and they're using it with new clients, because you're going to run into a lot of people now that own index annuities. They bought them from agents that are no longer in the business, because that's happened so many times. Agents will come in, they'll sell mom and dad, they'll sell grandma and grandpa, maybe Joe the neighbor next door, and then when it comes time to actually really market themselves, they don't know how to do it, and they leave the industry. And so there's a lot of people out there with older indexed annuities, and this tool right here can unlock that sale for you, because it makes it really, really simple to show exactly how a new product is just better than the old product. I mean, our industry has evolved. And you might think, well, why would I show a new product against a product that I sold to my own client? Doesn't that make me look bad? And the answer is no. It makes you look really good, because your job as a fiduciary is to take care of that client's money. And if it's sitting in a product that you sold them 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was a great product. Okay, but we, again, the last 5 years, we've seen over 170 new indices. We've got new banks coming in. I mean, the world is really taking a look at our industry, and they want to get involved. We've got, you're going to start to see crediting strategies from a bank over in Japan, one of the largest banks in Japan. They're building indexes right now. You got one of the most historical indexes over in the UK they're building indexes that are going to be in product soon. You got to understand this is an exciting industry to be in. I mean, people recognize these products are very vital, and it's just going to get better and better and better. You know, the invention of volatility control has changed everything. So my point is, when you go to your clients that you sold annuities to, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it's okay to show them something new, because that is really you demonstrating you're taking care of them, even though they might still have a surrender charge, and you can actually put in the surrender value, and it will calculate and say, well, you know, their balance at their annuity right now is X, but after the surrender and with a bonus, it'll show what the, you know, the new amount is, and it's usually higher. So you can then show them these bigger returns, and that is being a fiduciary. You're managing their money. Yeah, they might pay a 1 or 2 or 3% surrender, but if it's suitable to move with these new product designs, that's really taking care of your client, and then it takes care of you, because you know you can get new sales on it. You know, we've got agents out there that are writing an additional 500 to $1 million a month going back because they got a big client book, and finding these older products and getting them into the newer, better ones. And even like a newer, better 5-year product, you know, if your clients, you know, if they were hoping to access these funds at a certain age, and you don't want to start them over in a new 10-year, I mean, there's 5-year products that have some stellar returns out there, guys, and you could easily move them over, and re-allocation will do that. So again, this is where you would plug in, you know, from the actual statement. So you would just put in your client. I'll just put VC for value client, and let's see, that was in a theme. So I would just name it, go in here, and let's say we had 0 allocated towards the fixed, and their current rate was 1.85, new rate's 1.85, and then you just go over here and you put in your allocation. So I just know the statement, I've got it in front of me here. So you got the S&P 500 is their first option, so we're showing $0 going in there. Their first option resets annually. The crediting method on it is actually monthly sum, and it has a current cap of 1.85, and the renewal cap is also 1.85. It did not go down. And when you're doing a cap, you got to put in your par. So put in the 100 par, and then boom, it will calculate the historical return on that crediting method. And then you just plug in the rest of them. You've got all your returns here. You can do your custom allocation, and then on your output, you're going to see, you know, the reallocation summary, and then again your explanations. If you do have one that goes down, it's going to point out, you know, what the culprit is. This is a very, very, very powerful tool. It will generate sales from your own book. It'll generate sales when you're meeting new clients and they have older products, and it also will just help you with your review. So now you can take, you know, 10 minutes and fill this thing out and go see your clients and have an actual plan to talk about, instead of just, you know, oh, maybe we should change, maybe we shouldn't. You know, now you've got some data to back up that plan. So re-allocation is going to be a very, very, very powerful tool for you. Okay, let's talk about the rest of them on here. You got Calculyzer. I'm not going to bring it up. Calculyzer is an educational tool. It basically explains how crediting methods work using numbers. You know, if I asked you to explain to me exactly how the Fusion crediting method from America, how does that work? And you read the brochure and it's confusing. Or how does the quarterly high watermark work? How does Sunrise work? You know, it's very hard to read those brochures and have an idea of really what's happening. Calculyzer will actually show you how the numbers work with real up-to-date back tests and historical performance. You can see how Sunrise works. You can see how even monthly sum. A lot of guys don't really understand how monthly sum works. It breaks it down and shows you all the math, and you can use it with clients. You can they're set to print out, and you can go in and demonstrate how an index annuity actually credits interest. Comparalizer, that one is really good if you're with a client that loves to go to the bank and buy CDs, or they just want something simple, fixed annuity, or they buy bonds. Comparalizer allows you to select an index annuity, create your own allocation mix, and then you can plug in the best MIGA rate. You know, where are bonds, where are CDs? You can plug in those rates, and it puts it on a beautiful chart and compares the index annuity versus the other fixed rate alternatives. MIGA report is really simple. It's just a PDF with current MIGA rates. Why do we have it on there? We're the Index Resource Center. Why are we even looking at MIGAs? Well, we believe it's a good move for you. If you're selling a 7-year index annuity today, you're taking the app today, you want to print that MIGA report out, throw it in the client's file. Because if your illustration says the client's going to make 11% historically, and that's the number they get stuck in their head is 11%. And you go out and you sell it, and then 7 years goes by and they end up at 8%. And they're upset because it didn't do what you told them it was going to do. We all know how clients think. Well, you can pull that MIGA report out and say, listen, back when you signed your app, I printed this report, and your next best option besides an index annuity would have been a fixed annuity or a multi-year guaranteed annuity. Back when you signed your apps, rates were at, I'm just guessing here, 6%. So you got 8%. The index annuity did its job. That's the whole point of that MIGA report. I would print that out on every single sale that you make. So those are all the downloads you have access to. You can get all the historical returns, pull some amazing charts, make sure you're keeping up with who's got the best returns in the industry. Reviewalyzer is going to help you make new sales and help you with all your review appointments. Calculyzer will help educate you and your clients on how these things really work. Comparalyzer will help you get past those clients that just don't think index annuities are worth taking a chance on. And then MIGA reports we just walked through. So you have all that available to you, but if you need more, there is more. So if you need some custom things like these top 50 reports, they're going to show you the best 10-year products. Okay. If you want to see the best 7-year products or the best 5-year products, or you want to just see the best products from a short list of carriers, you can go into our FMO catalog. And what that's going to do is show you every single report that Premier Marketing can run for you. This is all the custom stuff. This is all the, if you're going out and you're selling to an engineer, or you're selling to a business owner or a doctor or a professor, somebody that's a little more astute and is going to want more data, Premier can provide it for you with the full version of INDEXALYZER that they have. So you can call them up and say, well, yeah, I want to do this laddering strategy. So you can click on it, read all about what the strategy is. This is where you're going to put half the money in a 2-year reset, half in a 1-year reset. At the end of the first year, move that 1-year money into another 2-year reset. So now you're staggering your 2-year resets, and you can click and see what the report looks like, and then just call up your friends over at Premier, and they can run this for you. So the stuff you have access to is really for point of sale. I need this, and I can just go get it whenever I want. But if you need more ammunition, you need to really wow the client, you want some of the other stuff, it's all there in the FMO catalog. You can go through and read through it and just order this stuff. And again, the whole idea is to help you make sales. So you have access to all that. The last thing you have access to here is Journey Guide. Journey Guide is a full-blown, full-fledged financial planning software. This is going to be comparable to like your retirement analyzer, your e-money, your retire ups, all those out there. You get this as part of your subscription. Again, it's $100 a month if you just called Journey Guide and signed up. But what's really special about Journey Guide? First of all, it was developed by a gentleman who was an analyst and a programmer for 17 years at Goldman Sachs. The guy knows what he's doing. And he's created these algorithms that he worked with the University of Connecticut on. And they actually will do Monte Carlos, 5,000 Monte Carlo simulations on a client's portfolio with the one goal of saying, what is the probability of you reaching your income goals during retirement? And what Journey Guide will do is you go out as the agent, you collect all the data from your client, you plug it into Journey Guide. It's going to run those scenarios instantly, and you'll be able to see right where the client is. Then what you're going to do is you're going to push a button and you're going to shoot that file over to your marketer at Premier. And then they're going to go in and look at what annuity would be best to show that probability number going higher. So it literally has every index annuity loaded inside of it. So it's not like the other programs where you just type in, oh, well, we're going to put money into an index annuity and project 7%. No, it actually has all the index annuity data. It can calculate the income riders. It can run all the different projections right inside the plan, and then shoot you different scenarios showing, okay, if we move 400,000 into this index annuity with the income rider, now your probability goes to 100% that you will hit your goal during retirement. So it's a amazing financial planning software, easy to use, so simple to use, has wonderful printouts, wonderful diagrams, and it will just help you capture more assets and demonstrate to the client the true need for these index annuity products. And this is all part of it. And you get to work with your marketer at Premier on each case and develop the best plan that you can go out and present and sell to your client. So we can do a more in-depth on that at a different time. But today's purpose, we just wanted to show you what is available with INDEXALYZER and what you have access to and how Premier can help you grow your business. Guys, Reviewalyzer alone is gonna grow your business. If you commit to doing that, commit to using it, maybe it's gonna spark you to actually do review appointments. If you're an agent that doesn't do them, you could be missing out on a lot of money. There's, people inherit money. People know other people with money. There's referrals. People have additional money or additional needs, life insurance needs, long-term care needs. If you're not going back and seeing your clients, you're going to miss out on that. And, that's going to help you because now you can go in with a plan. Even if rates are lower, you have an answer for that. If, their product isn't doing that well, you got a great reallocation plan for them. So it's going to help you make money. Point of sale for allocation purposes, those carrier reports are fantastic. It makes that part really easy. And then Journey Guide is going to come in and help you capture more assets. So for $25 a month, I think it is worth it. Premier negotiated a great rate for us there, or for you guys, not for us, I guess, for you guys to get access to this and really, really build your business. So how you get this is you go out to indexalyzer.com/PM for Premier Marketing. And then you're just going to go down here to agent registration, but you need this code right here. It's right on the front page, this PM1411. You use that coupon code when you get into the agent registration here, and that's what will take it down to the $25 and get you that big discount. So when you go in here and continue sign up, right here it is, have a coupon code, click here. So you put that in there and hit apply coupon, and then it will reduce the rate down. So that is pretty much it on INDEXALYZER. You do get a 30-day free trial. So, and there are no contract time frame. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime. If you buy it and you use it for a month and you think, this just doesn't work for the way how I sell, just send us an email, or there's a way to cancel. So we're not going to hold your feet to the fire. We're not going to lock you in. We know that you can use this data to build your business. We've seen time and time again. I've personally used this data because I used to sell. It works. It does enhance your practice. It's going to make you look so much more professional. It just, it's worth every penny of it. And I hope you take it and use it and just, double your business in 2024, because it really has the potential to do that for you. So thank you for your time today. Brad, I'll turn it back over to you and see if there's any questions or anything. I'll stay on with you guys as long as you want.
Thanks, Kent. That's a great presentation. Love seeing the benefits of INDEXALYZER. It's been a godsend for us here at Premier since we started the relationship with you guys. I don't see any questions yet, so if you want to type in a question, that would be great to do. I know Shad and Shay and I just had this conversation the other day when we were looking at the allocation choices with one of the carriers. And like you pointed out in the very beginning, those large participation rates that are, 300%, 400%, and how do you choose and how realistic are those things? And this tool that you are providing and that you have here really helps us answer those questions, because I don't know how, like you mentioned, with all the different allocation options, how we would sort through that, how we would have done it 6 months ago. And it's definitely a great value. Journey Guide's a great value as well. And we just want our agents to be as prepared as possible, especially the environment that we're going into. So looks like you're pulling up the Index conference here. I was actually going to bring that up.
Okay. I figured you would.
So that's perfect. That's perfect. So we'd love everybody to attend this in January, the 11th and 12th. And by reaching out to Chatterjee, you can actually get a coupon to cover your costs to attend this event. So that's, what is that, $150 value, I believe?
That's $150 for a ticket. So yeah, so they've got some coupons that they've ordered from us to give out to you guys. So if you get that coupon from Premier, you can, when you go to register, there's a place that you can actually plug that in, and you come down here. Let's say you're going to buy one ticket, and you go to checkout, and then right here you would enter that coupon code that they can send you, and then it'll get your ticket. It'll waive the $150 cost.
Yep.
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
and
yeah,
this,
I appreciate
if I could real quick just share what the conference is going to be about. You don't want to miss this, guys. We've got some of the top people in the industry, and they are going to focus on index education, not necessarily index annuity or IUL education. It's going to be index education, and they're not just going to be like, talking about their indexes. They'll talk a little bit about that, but they're going to dive into a lot of the terminology and what are max underliers, what are, how do dividends affect everything, how does momentum affect everything, strike price, what is that, what does that have to do? This is going to up your game like you wouldn't believe. You're going to be able to walk in to the most difficult client you'd ever imagine, but usually difficult clients have the most money, and you're going to be able to impress them so much with the information you will learn. And we literally have the top people in the industry. We got Derek Ferguson that's going to be on this thing. Derek was part of Genesis Financial. They created the very first indexed annuity ever. So we've got some very high-end people, a lot. You can see the sponsor list. I think I already blew past that. I mean, we have got some major companies coming in and speaking at this thing. It'll be worth your time. It's virtual, and just because of Premier, you can get in for free. It's going to be a 2-day event in January. So it's January 11th and 12th. It's past the holidays, not much going on. We'll actually be hosting it from the floor of SIBO. So, if you sell an index annuity and you select to put money into the S&P 500, those people right behind me in that video, okay, this is not like a green screen. I was literally there. I'm standing right where Rick Santelli does his broadcast when he goes to the Chicago Board Options Exchange. Those people behind there, that's the S&P 500 pit. So that is where your client's money will end up. It'll go through that room if you select an S&P 500 crediting method, because the options will get bought and sold right there by those people right behind me. And so we're actually going to ring the bell that morning to open the options market, and then we're literally hosting it from that trading floor. I'll just be, a little to my left there. We'll be up on a platform for 2 days and bringing in all the different speakers. And guys, it's just going to be a phenomenal time, and you will learn so much, and you will be ready for 2024. So love to have everybody there. Get your coupon for Brad and his team for sure.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kent. That's awesome. Can you one more time show how they can register for an account and the code there?
So you go out to indexalyzer.com/PM for Premier Marketing, and you want to just quickly write down this PM1411. Just write that down on a little piece of paper, and then go into the agent registration. It'll take, oh, that's just because we're on, yeah, there we go. And so you go into agent registration and you hit continue signing up. And my cart's full because I've done this a couple times. So you say continue signing up, and then you hit that blue bar and you put in the code, and then it'll give you the discount. So yep, that's it. And then it gives you the code again there once you get, on that first click. So that's all you have to do. And again, you do get a 30-day free trial, and that you can cancel anytime. Yeah, but I don't think you will.
No, it's a wonderful tool. And we're in a time that, quite honestly, with the direction of best interest, those types of things, there's no better time to improve your skill set and have the tools available to help your clients get the best return and have the best options available to them and make educated choices. So this is awesome. We really appreciate it, Kent, and appreciate all the work you've done to help the industry as well. So I don't see any other questions at the time. So just want to thank everybody for attending, and please give Shad or Shay a call, and they'd be happy to help you get set up if you have any questions along the way. And we look forward to hosting another one of these soon. Thanks, Kent.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.